I tried recording like a 30-minute video there, and I was going on some tangents. The article was just ugh. Anyways, welcome to Dating and Development. If you know who I am, it's me, Fabio. Love you all. Take care. God bless. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. And yeah, article analysis. A different article this time than the one I was banging on about. This one, why women compete with each other. See, I had this theory that never mind, had a glitch there. Had a theory that women only tolerate each other and not necessarily like each other properly. I think they only like each other until like their moral that a woman holds to herself dear is broken, something like that. For example, right, say if there's a girl and she hates drinking, or she hates when her friends are doing this, that, and the other, and then they won't then kind of like, oh, I don't like the way they do that, don't think I should be friends with them anymore. Like, why? Just because something that you don't like, is it affecting your life? It's not. It's affecting your values, because it kind of goes back to like women are only loyal to themselves and how they feel. Carrying on, Laura Callahan, group of girls in this video, lovely, super stuff. If you're listening to this on Spotify and then you can't see this, boohoo.com. Los Angeles had a tightly knit group of female friends in elementary school since, oh my god, Genie Mac. Right, I'm going to skip to the next part. Right, the intro is too long. Not reading that entire intro. Crikey. Women compete, compare, undermine, and undercut one another. At least that is prevailing notion of how we interact, and that is kind of true. You know, I have to agree with Miss Callahan on this. Women do compare and compete and undermine each other because they're friends to each other, like facing, oh my god, girl, I love you so much, yeah, and we're having the chats, blah blah blah, and then, oh, I can't believe what you did, blah blah blah. Oh, Stacey, I freaking hate Stacey, what an absolute bitch. Oh, Stacey, oh hi Stacey. It's kind of like that. You know, they'll talk about each other, they'll bash about each other behind their backs, and then they're all pally to each other's faces. That's why I think they really tolerate each other and not necessarily like each other. And they do undermine. It's like, oh, even one girl, she talks about her friend, oh, she's put on some weight, like Jeannie Mac, and she's all pally to her friend's face. Why? It just makes whammon. Moving on. It's considered exceptional, or at least noteworthy, that famous women like Amy Schumer, Beyonce, and Taylor Swift acknowledge that other women are talented and frequently work with those other women without, in most cases, being catty about it, or, adds more to their fame. If you get a collaboration with a well-known artist, boom, your song's doing better already. It's kind of like, say The Weeknd and Lana Del Rey and that song they did. Got The Weeknd, Billie Eilish and Khalid. Billie Eilish rising star, Khalid rising star, work with each other. Boomtown, super stuff. Love it, like Shakira and Beyonce in that other song that they did, Buongiorno. That makes them heroes of the Yugo Girl movement. Feeling on guard around other ladies is normal for a lot of women, and it's exhausting. I exhausted myself for years trying to understand how other girls could have gone from my closest allies to my scariest foes. I write an advice column and get a fair number of questions from the ladies asking how to handle not trusting other women. So no, I'm not alone. I don't think women, that proves her saying it. Women understand other women and they hate each other. I don't think they tolerate each other just the sake of getting on with each other. That's what I genuinely think. Because to be girls, good friends with each other, and say one of the girls has a boyfriend, the best friend will sit behind her with her boyfriend. The other person's boyfriend, yeah. It happens. I've heard stories about it from friends and everything else. It does happen. Women want what they can't have. It was happened to me in one instance where, when I was in one of my relationships, and a girl was like, who knew my girlfriend, is like, oh, yeah, come on, we'll go ahead. Like, nah, I can't, like, her girlfriend's like, we will, come on, yeah, just, easy as, a little tug of, shake the old creamer, fake the bean, easy as. Didn't happen. But like, it just shows that women don't like each other. They compete with each other. A good of meat research has been done on female competitiveness, both in condescending and eye-opening ways. G. Wilkers. A literature review by Tracy Valancourt in 2013 found that women by and large express indirect aggression towards other women, and that aggression is a combination of self-promotion, making themselves look more attractive, and derogation of rivals, being catty about other women. Well, we gotta remember that women bully each other, not physically but psychologically. That's how they work, because they're not as strong as men. Men would just fight it out and say, okay, yeah, cool, we're friends, or we're civil, shake hands, walk into the sunset. Women, on the other hand, it's like war can go on between them for God knows how long. You know, girls might not be friends for like years just because of something small. Things will change. Can't be friends. funkypigeon.com. The two main theories of why women are competitive in indirectly aggressive ways. So it's covert aggression, evolutionary psychology, which uses natural selection to explain our modern behavior, says that women need to protect themselves from physical harm. The Ugorga psychology chalks us up to internalizing. Oh, here we go again. Internalizing that, the male faction, the male-dominated faction, as Noam Spencer writes in Psychology Today. As women come to consider being prized by men their ultimate source of strength, worth, achievement, and identity, they are compelled to battle other women for the prize. In short, when our value is tied to the people who can impregnate us, we turn on each other. Yes, competition anxiety. That's what it is. Going for a high value male. Competition anxiety. That's why it turns up, because if a woman senses she's going to lose a guy of high value, that's when the fights break out. That's when the cattiness breaks out. Because women will lose a friendship over a really hot, successful guy. You know, do a simple search on the internet and you'll find out. I watched this happen among our sensational six, though that was like her elementary friend group. Wasn't bothered reading the introduction, way too long. Pastimes shifted from having goofy sing-alongs to trying on clothes to pointing out one another's flaws to primping before a mirror, and the final step, making boys laugh. Making the lads laugh, making the boys have a little chuckle. We're all men here. We were still friends, but aware of this new dimension. I went to a different middle school than my friends did, and that new dimension persisted, except that now I was taking it in with fresh eyes. Because of my size and my status as a new kid, I stayed an outsider. Here's when I took a page from nature and decided that indirect aggression, rather than self-promotion or discounting my rivals, would take the form of what's called warning correlation. I took myself off of the battle. If I was unappealing, then I would advertise, like those butterflies with the warning spots. That would not be considered a worthy opponent. I would be ugly on my own terms. I wore artfully ripped clothes and enormous combat boots and old men's pants. That was your own choice. If you put in the work, stood up for yourself, and took accountability, then that wouldn't have happened. But hey, I know you're in middle school, you're still quite young. You know, as young people, we can be quite naive. So at that stage, smart enough move. Later on in life, not so smart. In high school, I decided that all my female friends were stupid and traded them for guy friends. All the girls are stupid. Okay, yeah, we know what that kind of says. I love my horror movies and heavy metal, and use these interests to become a guy's girl. I thought that by segregating myself, I would save myself from the awareness that I was ever going to be pretty, perfect, cool enough, and occasionally I would get to make out with a male pal because hormones were running rampant. Wow. I hang out with other guys because they don't cause drama, as hot dog sausages being thrown in her face. When another guy's girl joined our group, she and I became fast friends by lamenting how stupid girls were. But you were also a girl. Other girls were stupid, but not me. And we met new boys. We threw each other under the bus to flirt with them. Yeah, because it's the novelty. The novelty is there. Competition anxiety. You want to be noticed. You want to feel attractive. So obviously you're going to throw the other person under the bus. This is the ladies men were talking about. Instead of openly hating women, I used hate's sneaky little sister and told myself that I pitied women who worked hard to be conventionally attractive. But those are the men, women. Those are the women men like. Men like attractive ladies. We do. I know attractiveness is subjective, but we like ladies who look good. We do. We're visual. We're visual men. We love those ladies. We love those dresses on. We all love that. Women love a man's utility, how they make him feel, emotions, a whole lot more. Men, we're very easy. We're very easy when it comes to this kind of thing. You know, some men, if you're really attractive, we'll imagine what our family looks like with you. If you don't know any better. Being a man, that is. But we would imagine what our family looks like, you know, our marriage, things like that, down the line. We'll imagine the future. Conventionally attractive, who had jobs that utilised their feminine wiles, who were too girly, poor her I'd cluck at parties, wanting attention so badly, I wonder who hurt her. See, and this is what I'm getting at. Women don't like each other. They do not like each other. They're jealous of each other. If one woman walks past another and she's, you know, better looking than the other girl, have you ever seen the look of disdain on the other girl's face? Who's seeing how better looking this other girl is? Like, oh, I can't believe she's better looking than me. The disdain is there. Like, if I see a guy go, hey, you know, no homo, but he, you know, handsome enough chap, like. But if a girl's like, oh my god, you're so beautiful, blah, 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 but really, it's dislike. It's there. Like, and what's this? I don't want to digression here. What is this with girls on Instagram? One girl posts up a photo, you know, gym leggings on or in a bikini, like, oh my god, girl, so hot, you know, you're unreal. Why are they simping over the other one? It's artificial validation. That's what it is. Like, I don't get it. Who gets it? I don't know. In my 20s, there were two girls in my social group in NY, brash, gorgeous creatures. They owned every single room they entered. I hated them on sight, even as I couldn't take my eyes off. Yes, you hated them because you weren't getting the attention they were. You wanted that attention, you weren't getting it. I thought they were magical, but of the dark magic that could steal my husband. Once I found myself in a bar bathroom alone with them and feeling cornered by their spectacular perfection, mumbled something. One responded by complimenting my coat. The other started talking about the guy she was there with and how he was acting funny. I saw them for who they were. Magnanimous, charming creatures, but also kind of obsessive and weird. My negative view of them had nothing to do with them at all. It was just a warped mirror. Yes, because you didn't like yourself. The way you saw yourself, you know, not being attractive, you projected that anger you didn't like on yourself to other ladies who are better looking than you. Just because you weren't as attractive, you took that out on other girls. Oh, I pity them because they looked better. You didn't pity them. You were jealous because they looked better than you. That's what it is. And that's what I'm drawing from this. And it goes back to what I said. Women just tolerate each other. I don't think they fully like each other at all. Women are willing to drop their friends like a hat and not speak to them again over something so minor. That's how I notice it. Research tells us that women are compelled to level the playing field by any means necessary to make sure we have access to the best genetic material. Yes, that is true. It is very true, because you want the highest value man who can produce the best offspring. But since these are not real concerns, and there are very real concerns in your modern life, subconsciously, yes, they are real concerns. You might not know you're doing it, but you certainly do it, because it's called hypergamy. It's built into you. Now, there's different levels to hypergamy. Some women can control it, some cannot. But generally, women want to date up. Our competitiveness becomes something a bit more private and understandable. There's a third theory of female competitive that I like to propose. We aren't competing with other women ultimately, but with ourselves, with how we think of ourselves. For many of us, we look at other women and see instead a version of ourselves that is better, prettier, smarter, something more. We don't see the other woman at all. Yes, I can see where you're going with that theory, and that's very plausible too, because you're judging women on someone who you want to be, but you're not that person, and that's where that anger came from, because they were better looking than you, probably could be smarter, funnier, prettier. There's other people who are better looking than me. There's other people better looking than a handsome guy down the street. It's how it goes. It's a fun house mirror that reflects an inaccurate version of who we are, but we turn on her anyway because it's easier. We don't need to lower the stock of other women, either for the future of the species or for our own psyches. When we focus on being the dominant force in our own universe, then invading other universes, we all win. But the thing is that you will actually win if you dominate over other people. Because as I said, when it comes to a man, I know I'm only giving one example, but when it comes to dating, there's a high value man and multiple women want that high value man because women want the top 10-20% of men. They will do anything they can to secure that man. They will, and that involves breaking friendships, that involves trampling each other, that involves going behind each other's backs and doing things just to get that attention so they can secure that high mate for security and everything else to ease that hypergamy, because the anxiety turns on the ladies and that makes him more attractive because he has other options. It's pre-selection. I think this article kind of explains that women compete each other, yes, but I think it's because women don't necessarily, like, they could be friends, but what's that saying? Women understand women and they hate each other. I think women just tolerate each other. I think this article kind of explains it in that sense. But hey, you can make your own opinion. I'll leave this in the description below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Take care and God bless. And what can we take away from this article? Women, work on yourself. Become happy with yourself. Get the validation from yourself. You don't, yes, we live in an era where attention and validation externally means everything to women, or can mean a lot to women. But you have to be comfortable in who you are and in your own skin. There's no need to compete with other women because, first of all, you have to stop caring, and second of all, there's always going to be someone who's better than you. So your best course of action is to be the best version of yourself and improve. That's my takeaway. Until then, take care, God bless, and stay safe.